Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to finish making the fin repair on my head here. When I was removing the head, so even though I was trying to be as careful as I could, I still managed to break off a good chunk of the fin here. So what I've done is I've got myself some JB Weld. Now I've used JB Weld in the past. Works really great for a lot of repairs on aluminum and other things, but this is the first time that I've actually used it on a head, and I've got the JB Weld, the marine version of the weld, so I'm hoping this will work well. I put on some yesterday. Underneath here there's a bit of meat around here, and then of course here it's all space, and over here it's all space for the air to flow underneath. So what I did was I built it up here to kind of make like a ledge, and then of course I put some JB Weld in the actual crack, so that when the two surfaces of the crack, or the two pieces came together where the crack was, there'd be JB Weld in between, and then just pressed down on the ledge. I used just a couple of small clamps just to secure them here on the edge while they started to set. Takes about 4 hours or so, and they set up where they'll stay by themselves, and then full cure is a 24-hour cure. So it's been 25 hours now, so I'm ready to continue on with this. So that's not all I'm going to do here. As you can see, what I've done is I drilled some small holes, 6 holes on the piece, and then 6 holes here where there's a gap, and 6 holes over here where there's another gap. And I'm going to put some JB Weld on here, and then smooth it over. Now, a trick for working with JB Weld that I've used in the past, originally when I started working with this, I would just put the JB Weld on and then try to sand it smooth if I had any high spots, and that's a lot of work. And what I've picked up off one of the guys I watch on the internet, he uses this all the time to redo small Briggs & Stratton engines and that sort of thing, is he just takes a bit of water, puts it on the end of his finger, gets his finger wet, and you can actually sculpt it quite nicely with your finger, and just keep getting your finger wet and go over it, and then it'll still harden up. You know, you don't have to squish it all out, but you do that, and then there's a whole lot less cleanup and a lot less sanding after all is said and done. And as you can see, there's not a lot of raised surface here. There's only like maybe a millimeter or so. There's not much there, so I don't want to build up too much. But when I come over and I look at the cylinder head, you can see the ring goes up a bit into there. So there's a bit of space. I got a little bit of space to work with. So I'm going to make this as flat as I can, but I still need some meat, and I want those holes to kind of be like fingers so that it keeps it together. And then when that is all set tomorrow, I'm going to turn it over, and let me see if I can light this up for you. Just a sec. There we go. Let's see if I can I get in there with some light? Let me see. Yeah. So you can just see. I'm trying to match up the camera here. Sorry about that. There we go. You can just see where I have the JB Weld. See how I have it built up so that it makes like a ledge underneath. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come over here and build it up on this side over towards this way, and that'll give it widen out that ledge. Essentially that's what I want to do. The little bit that's here on the underneath, I want it to be out a little bit more and be along here and along here and along here, but underneath the fin, and still allow for enough space for air to move through the space there. So that'll be tomorrow, but for today, this is today's project. So this should do good. 25 hours cure now, and like you can lift the head with that. Like, that's not wobbly at all. So this is just going to add strength to it. I mean, right up here at the top of the engine, There's a lot of vibration as well as the heat. So that's going to be the big test, is to see how this layering that I'm doing is going to stand up to the heat, the top of the engine. So probably at some point in the future I'll just do an update after I've ridden the bike for a while and just let you know if it held up or did that piece break off, and we'll see where we go. Okay, so this is the finished repair. Here's the JB Weld. You can see as it dried or as it cured, it sunk into the little holes that I drilled. But it came out pretty good. You can see along the side here that it isn't higher. I made sure that it wasn't higher than the face that goes down where the gasket is to seal the oil, because the sealing of the cylinder is done inside here. The spigot on the top of the cylinder fits into here. That's what seals the cylinder. This part here is just for the oil, for the oil tunnels and that. But anyway, came out pretty good, nice and hard, and I got a good amount in between as well. So structurally, or mechanically, yeah, it's fine. Like, it doesn't wobble or anything, so it shouldn't vibrate loose, I'm hoping. Now it's just a matter of, will it stand up to the heat? But I'm thinking it will. I've used it in other parts of engines before, and this stuff has never let me down, so we'll see how it goes. I mean, this is pretty well right at the top of, right where it's at its hottest here in the combustion chamber, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, came out pretty good, and I'm happy with that.